Hi kids, my name's Robbie. Are you ready for a bedtime story? The Hull and East Riding Museum is a bit like time travelling through the history of the city. Walk through the museum and you'll see how Hull looked under the Romans, the Viking era and Saxon times. The best and biggest thing in the museum is from the Iron Age, and that was what Milly wanted to look at. She had remembered something she had seen, something important. The Hasholme longboat is a real wooden boat from nearly 2,500 years ago, found west of Hull in 1984. It was dug out of the mud of the Foulness River. Sully had never seen it before. That's really 2,500 years old, he wondered. It is, but it's the same one we saw. I know. Sully stood at the museum boat and its very long glass-covered case. The boat seemed to be moving, side to side, up at the front, then down. Sully put his head on its side. Does it look like it's floating to you? Like bobbing about? Milly nodded. I'm so glad you said that. That's just what I was thinking. But why? Sully asked. It's not floating. It can't be bobbing about. It's on the floor. In a museum, it should be still. I know, Milly agreed. Dad? Sully shouted. Sully's dad and Milly's mum appeared, both wearing Roman helmets, big red tufts on the top of their heads, and swords. They were giggling and had pink faces. Sully asked his dad the same question he'd asked Milly. Mr. Khan shook his head and laughed. You're seeing some crazy stuff today, Sul. But Sully didn't hear his dad mocking him. He'd just worked something out. You know that boat we saw that looked as if it was searching for something? He said to Milly. Yeah. And how we thought it was a ghost ship of a real ship? Yeah. And you know how ghosts are supposed to come back for something they lost in their last life? I suppose. Well, maybe this is the real ship the ghost ship is looking for. Milly's eyes opened wide. She knew her friend was onto something, but she also knew that their parents were going to be no use at all in helping them. Before the Hull KR v Hull FC match, the two friends didn't talk about rugby once. They talked about the boats they'd seen, the one on the water whose oarsman seemed to be searching for something, and the one in the museum that appeared impossibly to be floating. And the annoying fact that their parents didn't see what they saw. As the pre-match entertainment went on, they talked about who could help them, and if it was really true that the boat they'd seen on the water was a ghost ship looking for the real thing in the museum. They knew it was beyond them. They needed help. They needed inspiration. They needed a hero. Some sort of Hull superhero, Sully explained. And, as he did, the two Hull Club mascots ran onto the pitch. Airlie Bird for FC, Rufus Robin for KR. Our mascots, the two children said. They are Hull superheroes. Sully and Milly had decided on who they were going to ask for help, but they'd not decided what help they were going to ask for. What exactly could Airlie Bird and Rufus Robin do to help them, and would they even agree to?